Now, for these questions, we need to be able to subtract decimals with a different number of decimal places. So first, we have 31.8, and we need to subtract 6.45. So the number we're subtracting has 2 decimal places, and the number we're subtracting from only has 1 decimal place, so only has tenths, not hundredths. We can subtract using column subtraction, but we need to make sure that we write out the numbers with the decimal points lined up. That way, our other place values, so our tens, ones, tenths, and hundredths place value columns, will be lined up as well. Now we have an empty square, so we can write a 0 here, because 31.80 is the same as 31.8. All the 0 tells us here is that we don't have any hundredths. Now we need to remember to copy down the decimal point into our answer, and I like to do this first so that I don't forget. Now we can subtract using column subtraction. So 0 minus 5 we can't do, so we go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front, and 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. We can't do 1 minus 6, so we go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front. 11 minus 6 is 5, and 2 minus nothing is 2. That gives us 25.35. Now we have 26.8, and we need to subtract 6.12. So we write the numbers out with the decimal points lined up so that our place values are lined up as well. We can write 0 in this empty square, and we need to remember to copy the decimal point down into our answer. Now we subtract using column subtraction. We can't do 0 minus 2 using the column method, so we go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front. 10 minus 2 is 8. 7 minus 1 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0, and 2 minus nothing is 2. So our answer is 20.68. Now we have 125.48, and we're subtracting 72.3. So it's really important here that we have our decimal points lined up so that the other place values in our question are lined up as well. We can write a 0 in this empty square because 72.30 is the same as 72.3. All this 0 tells us is that we don't have any hundredths in this number. We copy down the decimal point into our answer. Now 8 minus 0 is 8, 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 minus 2 is 3. We can't do 2 minus 7, so go to the left, 1 less, 1 in front. 12 minus 7 is 5, and 0 minus nothing is 0. So our answer is 53.18. So let's look back to this first question and think about what we did here. We had 31.8, so that's 3 tenths, 1 1, and 8 tenths. We needed to subtract 6.45. So first, we subtracted 5 hundredths, but to do that, we needed to exchange one of our tenths for 10 hundredths. So we can take one of our tenths place value counters and exchange it for 10 hundredths. We can subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we had to subtract 4 tenths, so we can take away 1, 2, 3, 4 of our tenths place value counters. Finally, we needed to subtract 6 ones, but to do that, we needed to exchange one of our tens for 10 more ones. So to subtract 6, we can subtract 1, then exchange, and subtract 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We didn't need to subtract any tens, so we have our answer 25.35. So that's 2 tenths, 5 ones, 3 tenths, and 5 hundredths. The next question we did was 26.8, so 2 tens, 6 ones, and 8 tenths, and we needed to subtract 6.12. First, we subtracted 2 hundredths, but to do that, we exchanged one of our tenths for 10 hundredths. Then we could subtract 2 hundredths. Next, we subtracted 1 tenth. Then we subtracted all 6 of our ones. That left us with 2 tens, 6 tenths, and 8 hundredths, so that's 20.68. Finally, we had 125.48, and we needed to subtract 72.3. We weren't subtracting any hundredths, so the 8 hundredths that was in our question stayed the same. We subtracted 3 tenths. Then we subtracted 2 ones. Next, we had to subtract 7 tens, but to do that, we needed to exchange our 100 for 10 more tens. So we can subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tens, and that leaves us with 5 tens, 3 ones, 1 tenth, and 8 hundredths. So that's 53.18.